You said you made the comparison between the situation of Palestinians in Jordan to the situation of prisoners in the Israeli prisons. So if we can, please try to draw a chart of comparison between the rights of Palestinians under Jordanian rule and the rights of Palestinians in the West Bank or in Gaza. Because I think factually people have no idea what's going on. So can you, and I would like
what's the most important thing for an Arab? Of course, we Palestinians are not Arabs, that's a whole different discussion, but we're far away from being Arabs. But okay, that's fine. I'm proud to be Muslim, but we're not Arabs. That said, in this region, what's the most important thing for anyone? It's not money, it's honor. And what's the most significant part of someone's honor in this region? Women's honor, women's reputation. So if you call an Arab, if you go down the street and you call an Arab something about his mother or his sister, he most likely is going to kill you.
Yeah.
And he would face the consequences and saying, what can I do? I had no choice. And I've spoken to some of those people in Jordan. Someone who's done 10 years in jail for something like that. And he says, I had no choice. I had to clean my
honor.
Yeah. The Israeli army, the Israeli people, the soldiers, when they move into the West Bank and garrison at checkpoints, and you've been in that position, they are advised by their commanders not to provoke the people and especially not to mess with women.
Different.
Right after this interview, you and your colleagues and your friends go into TikTok or Facebook or Twitter. You'll find Jordanian government agents, and we know that Jordanian government agents because nobody dares to speak like that in Jordan unless they're supported by the government, and usually the Jordanian government operatives, intelligence operatives, we call them mukhabarat. You would find them calling Palestinian women names 24/7. And it's done deliberately to insult and destroy the morale of Palestinians. They've been in that nonstop for 4 years now. 4 years of calling Palestinian women names. In Israel, that would never happen. That's never happened. In Jordan, a Palestinian cannot get an education.
But by law?
No. They dedicate the state universities, which are paid for by our tax money, only to minorities' children, like, the East Bankers and others. They'll go to those universities mostly for free, while we have to pay for very expensive private schools, which are of lower quality because they don't have the finances like state schools. And this is why, if you achieve score and a C or a B minus as a non-Palestinian in Jordan, you still could get accepted to a state medical school. While if you are Palestinian, you can get accepted to a state medical school if you have an A plus, and then you have to pay for it, while the other guys would take it for free. So that's why the quality of education for us has been, sustained, but through incredible wealth, like the average Palestinian in Jordan. While on the other hand, the Palestinian in Israeli jails could get the degree from the Hebrew University. Many of them did a PhD in the Hebrew University while in jail, right, at taxpayers' money.
But
we are not allowed to open up businesses. When you open a business in Gaza or the West Bank, the Israeli government would not shut it down for you. In Jordan, they have been cracking down on all major Palestinian businesses. So in the 27 years of Abdullah's tenure, he has shut down most major Israeli businesses. And the Palestinians, Palestinian businesses, the Palestinian people are proudly the Jews of the Middle East. We are by nature business people, bankers, producers, manufacturers. He's shut all of that down, and by forced us to give away those businesses to people, who belong to other ethnicities, like the East Bankers and the Bedouins and the Syrians. We are also, when we renew our passport, people complain that in Israel, when you want to get a document, it takes you a lot of visits to certain areas to get, for example, a VIP card for entry in Israel. Well, in Jordan, we're not seeking entry into Israel. We're seeking just our own rightful right to hold a passport, Jordanian passport as citizens. They force you to struggle by going into something called, wait for it, the Inquisitions and Follow-up Department. I repeat, the Inquisitions and Follow-up Department.
That's the official name.
Yes, you can Google it.
Wow.
دائرة المتابعة والتفتيش. What takes, an Egyptian resident of Jordan to renew their passport, so to renew their driver's license, a day, half an hour, takes the Palestinian 6 months to a year, during which he probably would be with no driver's license. Imagine, these are the Nazi apartheid tactics implemented in Jordan against 95% of the population. And here, allow me to quote my friend, a very great guy, fought in Vietnam, and then made Aliyah to serve as an Israeli military intelligence officer. This guy told me Jordan is, quote unquote, we know Jordan is Palestinian slaves and everyone else is a master. So in Jordan, anyone who's not Palestinian, they get everything, and the 95% Palestinians get nothing. They're not doing that to protect the regime. They're not doing that because they love Israel. They're not doing that to keep the Palestinians under control. They're doing that for a much bigger reason, because every time we try to ask for any form of rights in Jordan, they would immediately tell us, go liberate Palestine first. This is not your country. You should go liberate Palestine, not over here. Go do your activism somewhere else. And this is how they've been terrifying 95% of the population into submission. And submission is not what they get in. I am an example. And let me just be clear. When I, as the first person to bring the bill, raise the flag and speak on behalf of 11.3 million Palestinians in Jordan, in our country, Jordan, a campaign was launched against me between 2017